when I'm talking about passing a legacy of beauty down to our daughters, I'm just talking about loving who we are, being confident in who we are, and passing that down to our daughters. And it's not just our daughters, it's for our sons too. So I just wanted to talk about some things that we can do that helps us. So let me know if any of you ever, somebody gives you a compliment, and do you ever say, oh, well, thanks, or, oh, then I don't really look that great, or whatever. And if you do, does your daughter hear you say that? Or when you're trying on clothes, and you say, oh, this doesn't make me look good, I don't like this, or you get frustrated when you are trying to find something to wear and it doesn't make you look good, or you think it doesn't make you look good. Are your kiddos around, and do they hear that? Because what they see, I know, trying to stop, and that's really hard. It's something that I've learned. And well, ask me why I work out. Never say to be skinny. That's so good. That's so good. It's it's important for them to know that we're doing this. I tell her so I can be the eBay mommy word. Yay! I just I think that our society just passes that, the best mommy, passes that down to them, and then they have that in their minds, and then they grow up like that. I was thinking maybe though, so she can work, maybe you're an eBay mommy or something, I don't know, but okay, so I got that now. But I think that's one of the things that they need to know. And a lot of us are afraid to feel cocky or arrogant or something like that. But I tell you what, our daughters and our children need us to love who we are, and that passes down to them. And some of the things that we can do to love who we are that, I have noticed and I have discovered in my life also is, if there are issues in our lives that we have been hurt, maybe abused or something, that can cause us to live in shame and not feel very good. So those are some things we need to deal with. We need to get healing from past hurts. We need to know who we are, right? So we need to know our purpose and our calling. Love ourselves through God's eyes. Yes, and to love ourselves through God's eyes. And that's hard to do if we don't really love us, if we're if we're insecure about who we are. So a lot of times we have to receive that healing in order to love ourselves. And we have to receive healing in order to know who we are. So digging into God's word and hearing what he says about us, him telling us who we are. So, and then repeating those things. So let's say we don't believe those things about who we are. Let's say we don't believe we're beautiful. Let's say we have a hard time looking at ourselves in the mirror or something. I think it's a really good thing to look in the mirror and say, I love you. Look at your body and just start saying all the things out loud that you love about your body. And instead of speaking yucky things about your body, start telling your body that you love your body. And all of that goes into our body, and we'll hear that. Our children will hear that, because it's going to be a vicious cycle of passing that insecurity and shame down to our kids, and then them down to their kids if they don't get healed. And then we walk around with a culture that they don't know who they are. They don't love themselves. And the other thing is when we don't love ourselves, it's very hard for us to love others and show love and be that, if you're married, to be the wife that God's called you to be, or the mom that God's called you to be, or the friend. Can you give compliments and mean it to other women without feeling insecure? Can you build other women up and really mean it and look at them and not feel jealous and not compare yourself? Failures they have had. They don't need that reminder. That's right. They don't need that reminder. We're really great at reminding ourselves of those things. So, if we have yucky thoughts about ourselves, we need to change our thoughts, right? So if we want to change our life, how we change our life is how we change our thoughts, because as a man thinketh, so is he. So the thoughts that we put into our mind becomes the things that we really believe and we meditate on, and then what we meditate on are the actions that we walk in. So we need to start changing our thoughts. If you have yucky thoughts about yourself, start reversing those. Get rid of those thoughts and start thinking thoughts that God thinks about you. Start looking at the way, again, like I said before, that the things that you love about yourself. Change those thoughts, and you'll change how you feel. You will change your life. What else did I put? Look at what you love about yourself. So we talked about that. And loving who you are, not caring about what others think. I also know that some women, I used to be this woman, used to get their identity from their looks or their bodies or something like that. Because of some abuse that I went through and just some past stuff, that's where I got my identity from. And so if I felt like I had to look a certain way, I had to have everything together just right, I had to work out so much to look a certain way. I worked out 2 times a day sometimes because I got my identity from the way that I looked, and that's just not healthy. So one time I really just stopped working out and I started getting some inner healing. Yeah, you still struggle with that. It's hard. It's hard as a trainer too, because I train these women and I think I need to look a certain way in order for them to listen to me, in order for me to them to think I'm a good trainer. My grandmother always judges us on how we look. Yeah, and that's hard. I wonder if that was passed down, to your mom, or maybe your mom broke free from that. Who knows? I hope she did. If not, you can break free, and you're trying to. Big time generational, yeah. So you get to break it. You get to break it. It starts with you. That's really exciting that you know that and you see that. So I actually stopped working out for a while. And now I work out to be healthy and because I love it. And I'm not saying that I'm not tempted. I'm not, I don't have those thoughts go through my mind of, oh my goodness, this doesn't look just right. But I don't dwell on them. I'm going to get attacked with those thoughts, but I don't dwell on them, and I get rid of them, and I start thinking about the things that I love about myself and what God thinks about me, and seeing myself through God's eyes, like you said. So our daughters need that. We need to pass that legacy on to our daughters. We need to, when we love ourselves, and we don't care what others think, that's the most freeingest thing in the whole world. And then we are free to be who God has called us to be and actually embrace others and lift them up in who God has called them to be too. So that's what my hope is, that you can raise your children and your sons even, because when you do this for your sons, they're going to feel good and they're going to look for women who believe in themselves and who love themselves and who are confident, because I have older boys and now I have a little girl, so I have to be careful with that. I often have to reevaluate why I'm working out and being fit for my kids. Yes, absolutely, I do too. I definitely do. And if I start feeling yucky or bad, you know what? I go spend time with God instead of working out, so He can tell me who I am and He can speak that truth into me, and then I'm ready to go work out. So those are some things. I hope, I think that's all the tips that I have today, but I just really think this is important for us to understand and really love who we are. So anyway, thanks for hopping on here and being a part of the conversation. If you know some other moms that this could bless, you can share this out. I know that we need a culture of women who are healed, moms who are healed, so that we can raise the next generation up to be healed and know who they are and walk in the purpose and call that God has for them. So anyway,